This is my 2007 Mini Cooper. Was having trouble with the heater AC blower unit. This is the old one here. I already made the change. This got tight. You can just feel it's a little tighter than it should be. About a year ago, the blower motor wouldn't come on. So I went online and read where someone suggested that before I remove it, reach up under the cabin filter and hand turn it a few times. If it is tight, this might fix it. I did exactly that and it worked. Well, I tried that again and it didn't work. So I went online again to see if I could find a blower motor replacement video, and there was none for this model, so I decided to make one. I found a written description at Pelican Parts, and that was helpful. First of all, let me show you how you can check to see if it's tight. Under the glove box on the passenger side, take a screwdriver and pry this out. The cabin filter's up in there. Now you can reach up in there without removing the cabin filter. You can turn the blower motor and you can feel if it freewheels. Make sure the engine's not running. You don't have the switch on, because if you did, it might happen to come on and you'd feel it hitting your fingers. If it's not tight, you got another issue, or it's defective for another reason. Before I tear out the blower motor, I'm going to go ahead and check the fuse. I don't suspect it's bad, but because it never blew for me in the past when I had this issue, but I'll check it just to be sure. The panel is also over here on the passenger side. The fuse that I took out is the fuse for the blower motor, and this legend plate here shows it right here is number 46, and it's a 30 amp fuse, and you can see that it's not burnt, but you can see the little U shape there isn't burnt. But just to be extra certain, I have my voltmeter set up here, and I check it. Just to be double sure. Okay. The access to the blower motor is from the driver's side. It's located up above the pedals, and it's in a difficult place to see. It's up in here. There, you can see the back end of it. Yeah, I needed 3 tools to do this job. I needed a torx bit socket to remove the 4 seat screws. I took out the seat so that I could lay in here and get my head right here, and with my light behind it, reach up in there and remove 3 screws. So taking out the seat really helped me, because I'm not as young as I used to be and not as limber. And in order to remove the seat, you have to disconnect this yellow plug that's under the seat, and it's hard to see, but there's a black sliding bar that I have it slid out so the plug will come right out. See? And then when you go to put it back in, just push it in and push that black sliding bar in to latch it. And of course the 4 screws, the torx bit screws, there they are, 1 on each corner. And I needed this torx bit to remove this panel. Now, that's the only panel you really have to remove. You might help yourself a little bit by removing this panel. It gives you some sight holes that you might be able to use to see the screws. And so it's not a bad idea to take this panel off here, but it's not required, and you definitely need to take that one off. This motor blower motor's mounted up in there like this, just like that. And there's 3 screws, one here, and one here. When you turn this out, take this out, you pull it straight out, and you have to do some twisting around some wires. There's actually even a tube that you pop off. You can fill it right here. Actually, I just removed it. This tube gets in the way. Gotta kind of push it out of the way. I'm putting it back on right now. Okay, I got the new blower motor installed, and I'm gonna start it up and show you how it should work. It's been a while since it has. Sweet. I thought I was done with this project, but then I got a fault, airbag and seatbelt fault. So what I found is, if you take the seat out, you disconnect that plug, you're going to get this fault. The only way you can fix it is to get the right equipment, which is this handheld here. This one here is made by Innova. I bought one cheaper than this, an Innova. This is model 5310. And first one I bought, went through the process of scanning the QR code and instructions and scanning the UPC on the Mini Cooper here, and on the door panel. Created an app for this. Then it didn't have what I needed. It didn't have the, I think it's SRS. So the first thing you have to do is plug this in. There's a port underneath here. The plug is keyed, has these angle surfaces, and it only goes on one way. This is, you pull this down and plug this in. Fishing around in the dark here. There it is. And it powers this up. So anyhow, let's see what we can come up with here. Alright, SRS. I'm going to toggle down to SRS. Hit the enter button. Is this your vehicle? Select and press. It is my vehicle. One moment, please. Erasing clears all SRS. Press yes. Erase was successful. Alright, my light went out. I'd like to thank my friend Tom for helping me with this project, and I'd like to thank you for watching it.